Why did you try to kidnap your sister on purpose? My 16-year-old sister Estella used to be the cautious one. Then her school hosted this mandatory self-defense seminar, and it was like someone flipped a switch in her brain. The seminar taught exactly 3 moves: a palm strike to the nose, a knee to the groin, and how to break out of a wrist grab. That was it. 2 hours of practice. And somehow Estella walked out of that gymnasium convinced she could take down any attacker who crossed her path. Over the next few days, she bought a hot pink pepper spray keychain that she'd whip out at random moments to show people her tactical stance. She even started following every self-defense account on social media and turned our family dinners into lectures about how women just needed confidence and basic training to defeat any man who tried to hurt them. The real turning point came when she started what she called confidence walks through the most dangerous parts of our city at night. I found out about them by accident when I caught her sneaking out at 11 p.m. wearing all black. She had her pepper spray in hand, practically glowing with excitement. When I confronted her, she smiled and said she'd been walking through the streets alone for the past 2 weeks, the same streets where 3 women had been mugged in the last month. "I'm actually hoping someone tries something," she said, holding up her pepper spray like it was some kind of holy weapon. "I want to prove that women don't have to live in fear anymore. One demonstration of force and these predators will think twice about attacking anyone ever again." I tried explaining that real violence wasn't like her controlled classroom environment, that actual attackers don't follow seminar rules. But she just looked at me with disgust and said I was another toxic man who didn't believe women could protect themselves. That night, I sat at my computer researching everything I could about real-world attacks versus self-defense training, watching security footage of actual assaults, and learning about how even trained fighters often freeze when confronted with real violence. Then I discovered that Estella's Instagram instructor had never been in an actual fight and was selling $200 online courses to teenage girls with promises of unleashing their inner warrior. I knew I had to stop this before my sister actually got hurt. The next morning, I ordered a black ski mask from Amazon with overnight delivery, dug out an old hoodie from college that Estella had never seen, and borrowed a pair of work boots from my garage. Next Friday night, I watched from my car as Estella slipped out the back door with her pepper spray clutched in her right hand like a talisman. I gave her a 5-minute head start before following on foot, keeping a block behind as she strutted down the empty streets, occasionally throwing practice strikes at imaginary attackers. When she turned into the darkest section of the park near the playground, I circled through the trees and came up behind her. She spun around in what she probably thought was a perfect combat stance, actually shouting, "Finally! I've been waiting for this!" But the moment I rushed forward, her entire worldview shattered in seconds. The pepper spray went flying because she'd forgotten to remove the safety cap. Then her practiced palm strike became a panicked flail that missed completely. And when she tried the knee strike she'd rehearsed hundreds of times, she threw herself so far off balance she nearly fell. When I grabbed her wrist using the exact hold she'd spent weeks learning to escape, she didn't rotate counterclockwise, or step into my body weight, or do any of the things she'd practiced in that bright, safe gymnasium. Instead, she just froze completely, her entire body trembling as she whispered, "Please, I have money. You can have it all. Please don't hurt me." The confident warrior who'd been ready to take on the world 30 seconds ago was suddenly just a terrified teenager. Her voice cracked as tears started streaming down her face. "I'm sorry. I won't come here again, I promise. Please just let me go." The transformation was so complete, so devastating, that I immediately let go and ran into the darkness without saying a word. I sprinted 3 blocks to where I'd parked my car, tossed the mask in a dumpster, changed shirts, and drove home using a different route, arriving 15 minutes after her. I found Estella in the kitchen with our mother, still shaking, her face blotchy from crying, trying to explain how someone had grabbed her but then just disappeared. When she saw me, her eyes were filled with a shame I'd never seen before. "You were right," she said quietly. "I couldn't do anything. I just froze. I was so scared I couldn't even scream." She immediately stopped her night walks and enrolled in a legitimate martial arts school where they spend the first year teaching students that real self-defense starts with running the F away.